Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Today we are going to talk about something that is going to unlock the Quran for you. You will see how the Quran was sent down in pieces, how it was put together, and how you can understand its message more clearly. All of this through a concept called Tafsir. Tafsir simply means explanation. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was sent as a prophet, he started receiving revelations, some in full chapters, some in parts. He memorized what was sent down and then recited it to his companions. They memorized it and recited it to others. This continued until the Prophet's ascension. At that point, the Muslims were worried because the message of Islam was being spread by word of mouth, and they were afraid that some words might be forgotten, or that people might misquote the Prophet, peace be upon him. So they asked him to write down the Qur'an. That's when the first Caliph Abu Bakr, who was also the Prophet's close companion, was given the task to compile a Qur'an. He sent a letter to all the provinces where Muslims had settled and asked them to send someone who would recite the Qur'an from memory so that they could write it down. A group of 14 men was selected. All of them were blind except one. They met in Medina. They sat in the presence of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and recited the Qur'an in his presence to make sure that what they were writing down was correct. That's how the first written copy of the Qur'an came into existence. It's now known as the Mushaf of Uth. This brings us to the importance of Tafsir. You see, when the Qur'an was sent down, it was sent in Arabic. This is the language of the Qur'an, and the beauty of the language is such that its words and phrases have multiple layers of meaning. For example, the word aman in Arabic can refer to a thing or an abstract idea. The word kitab can refer to a book or a chapter in a book. Even today, people of the book, that is Christians and Jews, are called al-kitab in the Qur'an. And the word din can refer to the path, the way of life, or a judgment. So if you take the word iman and put it in the middle of two words, kitab, it becomes ma. If you change the y to in, it becomes makin, which means place. And if you add din to kitab, it becomes kitab din, which means the course of action. The same word can have many meanings. This is why the Qur'an is considered a miracle. Its words and phrases are like keys that open doors to different levels of understanding. Each level is like a new horizon, a new revelation. This is the beauty of the Arabic language and the Qur'an. When the Qur'an was sent down in Arabic, its words were explained in Arabic. But as the message of Islam spread beyond the Arabic-speaking world, Muslims started translating the Qur'an into different languages so that everyone could read and understand it. And when they did, they noticed that the meanings were lost in translation. The words didn't have the same depth. So the Muslims who were fluent in both Arabic and the language of the Bible started explaining the Qur'an in the language of the Bible. That's how Tafsir came about. Tafsir is the explanation of the Qur'an in another language. But it's not just an explanation. It's an interpretation, a translation, a commentary, and sometimes even a sermon. In Tafsir, you will find stories, lessons, morals, and sometimes even poetry. So Tafsir is like a window to the Qur'an. It lets you look inside and see what's there, but it doesn't show you the whole picture. That's why it is important to study Tafsir and learn about the language of the Qur'an so that you can understand its true meaning. We'll continue this lesson inshallah. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Today we're going to talk about something that is going to unlock the Qur'an for you in a way like never before. We're going to talk about the power of Tafsir. You know, when you open the Qur'an today, you will find it just as relevant to your life as it was to the life of the people who lived 1400 years ago. And what is that something? That is called Tafsir. Tafsir, simply put, is the explanation of the Qur'an. But don't be fooled by this simple definition, because Tafsir is so much more than that. Tafsir is the key that unlocks the hidden meanings of the Qur'an. It's the light that illuminates the path of humanity. You see, the Qur'an was sent down in Arabic, and it was sent down to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in Mecca and Medina. So the language, the words, the phrases, they all have a context. They have a historical, geographical, cultural context, and without understanding that context, you cannot truly understand the message. And Tafsir is the vehicle through which we understand the Qur'an in its entirety. Through Tafsir, we learn the stories behind the ayat, the verses. For example, the story of Musa, of Isa, of Ibrahim, of Noah, peace be upon them. We learn about the wars that took place in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We learn about the social norms and values of that time. But Tafsir is not just about stories. It's also about principles, rules, laws, ibadah, worship, how to be a good Muslim, how to be a good human being. All of that is in the Qur'an, and all of that is explained to us through Tafsir. So my brothers and sisters, Tafsir is not an option. Tafsir is a necessity. If you want to understand the Qur'an, if you want to live the Qur'an, then you have to study Tafsir. Don't just read the translation. Go deeper. Understand the Tafsir. Understand the Arabic. Learn about the stories, the principles, the laws. And when you do that, the Qur'an will come alive for you in a way like never before. And you will realize that the Qur'an is not just a book. It's a way of life. It's a guidance for humanity. It's a message from the Creator to His creation. So invest in Tafsir, make it a point to learn Tafsir. And I promise you, the rewards are endless. Not only will you earn the pleasure of Allah subhanahu, you will be able to be a source of light for others. And that is the purpose of the Quran. That is the purpose of Islam. So, thank you for listening. May Allah bless you and grant us all the ability to understand the Quran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.